You know those stories you grew up with? The ones whispered at sleepovers, told in the glow of flashlights? The ones that made you keep your feet under the blanket at night? Urban legends. Creepy, weird, always with that eerie little what if at the end. But what if I told you? Some of those stories weren't just scary fairy tales. They actually happened. Tonight, we're counting down 10 urban legends that escaped the shadows of campfire stories and stepped into real life. And fair warning, once you hear number 1, you may never feel completely safe walking home at night again. Stay with me until the end, because you might just discover one of these legends happened closer to home than you'd ever want to believe. 10. The killer in the back seat. Let's start with one of the most chilling car-related stories out there. The killer in the back seat. The classic legend goes like this. A woman is driving home alone at night when she notices a truck following her. Every few minutes, the driver flashes their high beams. Terrified, she speeds up, heart pounding, convinced she's being hunted. But when she finally pulls over, the truck driver jumps out. And instead of attacking, he shouts that there's someone hiding in her back seat. Every time the hidden figure tried to sit up, the driver flashed their lights to scare them back down. This isn't just a story. In 1964, police in Lincoln, Nebraska, found serial killer Charles Starkweather hiding in a car. He had already killed 11 people. In the 1970s and 80s, police logs across multiple states recorded multiple instances of attackers waiting in parked cars for victims to return. Some attacks were fatal. Even today, police occasionally issue warnings for people to check the back seat before driving, because this crime still happens. It's the perfect nightmare. Your car is supposed to be your safe space. The next time you get in, will you check the back seat first? 9. The body under the bed. Imagine this. You've been traveling all day, you're exhausted, and you finally check into a cheap motel. You lie down trying to sleep, but there's this strange smell. Sweet, metallic, a little rotten. The next morning, the hotel staff investigates and finds a corpse hidden inside the bed frame. This sounds like a horror movie twist, but it's happened more than once. In 1999, a couple at the Burgundy Motor Inn in Las Vegas complained about a bad smell in their room. When staff finally opened the bed, they discovered a man's body hidden inside. In 2010, a Pasadena motel had to remove a mattress after cleaning staff found a decomposed body wedged beneath it, after multiple guests had already slept there. Police say this is actually a common dumping method for murderers who need to hide a body for a few days. The idea that you could be lying just inches above a corpse all night is almost unbearable. The next time you travel, will you check under the mattress? 8. The babysitter and the man upstairs. One of the most infamous urban legends, the babysitter alone at night. The phone rings. A man whispers, "Have you checked the children?" She hangs up shaking, but the calls keep coming. When police trace the line, they discover the calls are coming from inside the house. This story echoes the horrifying 1950 murder of 13-year-old Jeanette Chrisman, a babysitter in Columbia, Missouri. She was home alone with a toddler when she was attacked. Police later found the phone lines had been cut. In the 1960s and 70s, there were confirmed cases of stalkers using nearby phones to terrorize women home alone before breaking in. This one hits a deep primal fear, that you're not alone, even when you think you are. It turns the safety of home into a trap. 7. The sewer alligators. Surely you've heard this one. New York City's sewers are full of giant alligators. Albino monsters mutated in the dark. It sounds ridiculous, until you find out what city workers really discovered. In 1935, workers on East 123rd Street in Harlem really did find an 8-foot-long alligator lurking under the city. The New York Times printed photos of them pulling it out of a manhole. Back in the early 1900s, baby alligators were sold as pets. When they got too big, some owners flushed them down the toilet. While there's no evidence of whole colonies, sewer workers still report spotting giant rats, snakes, and the occasional gator, proof the legend wasn't entirely wrong. It makes you wonder what's actually living beneath your feet right now. 6. Poisoned Halloween candy. Parents have been warning their kids for decades. Check every piece of candy. Most of us thought it was just paranoid advice until the case of Ronald O'Brien. In 1974, O'Brien laced pixie sticks with cyanide and gave them to neighborhood kids, including his own 8-year-old son Timothy, who tragically died that night. This single case changed Halloween forever, sparking mass fear and leading to candy tampering checks across the U.S. to this day. This legend hits a nerve because it turns something innocent, candy, into a potential weapon 5. The black-eyed children. Picture this. You're home late at night. There's a knock at the door. 2 kids stand outside asking to come in. At first, nothing seems wrong until you notice their eyes are solid black. Every instinct tells you to run. In 1996, journalist Brian Bethel described meeting 2 boys in Texas who asked for a ride. As soon as he saw their eyes, he was filled with a sense of dread, a fear so strong he sped away. Since then, hundreds of similar reports have come in from police officers, truckers, and ordinary people. The children vanish if you refuse them, leaving no trace. Whether they're ghosts, demons, or something else, the thought that they might knock on your door tonight is enough to keep you awake. 4. The vanishing hitchhiker. This is one of the most widely told legends. A driver picks up a hitchhiker, usually a young woman, who gives an address. But when they arrive, she's gone. The family who answers the door says she died years ago. Chicago's Resurrection Mary is the most famous. For decades, drivers have reported picking up a woman in a white dress who disappears near Resurrection Cemetery. Police have received so many reports that they've actually investigated. And though no body has been found, the consistency of the sightings is eerie. These stories are unsettling because they force you to question what's real. Did those drivers meet a ghost or something else entirely? 3. Kuchisake Onna. The slit-mouthed woman. In Japan, kids are warned about a woman who wears a mask and asks, "Am I pretty?" If you say yes, she pulls the mask down to reveal her mouth is slit from ear to ear and attacks. In 1979, this story spread so widely across Japan that schools allowed children to walk home in groups. Police increased patrols. Parents refused to let kids out after dark. This was more than a ghost story. It was a full-blown moral panic that gripped an entire country. It's proof that a story can be so scary, it changes the behavior of millions. 2. The Hook Man. 2 teens are parked at Lover's Lane when the radio interrupts with a news report about an escaped killer with a hook for a hand. They leave quickly, and when they get home, they find a bloody hook hanging from the car door. In the 1940s and 50s, there really were a string of attacks on couples parked at Lover's Lanes, including the Texarkana Moonlight Murders, a case that inspired the film The Town That Dreaded Sundown. While no hook-handed killer was ever caught, the story became a cautionary tale that reflected a very real danger. It reminds us that sometimes monsters aren't legends, they're people. 1. The Smiling Man. This one might be the simplest and the scariest. A man stands under a streetlight at night, smiling too wide. He doesn't speak. He doesn't blink. He just waits. One of the most famous accounts comes from Reddit user Blue Title, who described being followed by a man who danced after him through the empty streets, faster and faster, until he ran into a store and hid. This legend works because it's not supernatural. It's just a person acting wrong, and sometimes that's the scariest thing of all.